Well, it wasn't that long ago that Tesla did indeed launch a new variant of the Tesla Model Y. Of course, we've had the long-range all-wheel drive model and the performance model available for quite some time now. Tesla did recently release a standard range version of the Tesla Model Y, and there's a lot to talk about. The real question though is the standard range Tesla Model Y worth it? So there's been a lot of talk about this new standard range Model Y that's available and how it has a lot of shortcomings. However, I think there's more to the story than what's been shared so far. Personally, I think the standard range Model Y has a lot of value and it is a good option for a lot of people. So let's talk about it a little bit. Of course, the standard range Model Y comes with less range, but it also comes with a lower price tag. At $41,990, it's $8,000 less than the long range all-wheel drive model. With that $8,000 savings, your range is going to be reduced to 244 miles. Your 0 to 60 time will also go down to 5.3 seconds, which is still plenty fast enough. You're only going to have one motor, which will be in the rear, making this a rear-wheel drive car. So that is something to consider. What's different from this and the Model 3 Standard Range Plus version is you are actually going to be getting all of the premium interior features. When Tesla created the Standard Range Plus version of the Model 3, it was a way to get a cheaper version of the Model 3 available for the masses. The Model 3 Standard Range Plus comes in at $37,990 and features most of the same feel on the inside. However, it does eliminate some of those features seen in the premium interior. Things like the upgraded stereo system, heated seats in the rear, floor mats, and the LED fog lights. But with a recent update, we're also finding the standard range Model Y does indeed come with the heated steering wheel that's yet to be announced, but is now showing up in deliveries. So that means this Model Y, the only difference in the standard range and the long range all-wheel drive is one less motor, a smaller battery pack which gives you less range, and a slower 0 to 60 time. Everything else is the same between these two cars. It's the same interior, it's the same sound system, you have heated seats all around the car, apparently that heated steering wheel, as well as all the other features that are present in the long range Model Y. This does include all the same options, all the same colors, same wheel options, comes standard with the Geminis just like the long range all-wheel drive, and everything else that you've come to expect from the Tesla Model Y. So because of this, you are getting the same car with just lower specs. Now that said, I do want to address the elephant in the room, and that is what other people have said about the standard range not being worth it. And that's of course range. My recommendation on any electric car is get as much range as you can possibly afford. The more range you have, the better. And the reason is electric cars do not have range in the same way that gas cars do. All cars will definitely lose range, whether it's gas or electric, the faster you go. However, in an electric car, it is pretty substantial. Let me give you an example. Earlier this year, we did a range test in our Tesla Model Y, and I wanted to see at 100% how far would it actually go on the highway. So at 70 miles per hour and ideal weather conditions, no HVAC running, I was able to get 260 miles. At the time, the car was rated at 316 miles. So that's almost an 18% reduction in stated range going 70 miles an hour. Now we've also done a number of road trips and we usually drive between 75 and 80 miles an hour on the highway. Now doing those speeds reduces the range significantly more. At about 80 miles an hour, you're going to lose about a third of the range. So in my car, that means we usually travel between 200 and 210 miles on a full charge at 80 miles per hour. Now that's not with any specific weather conditions, but that is what we have noticed in the numerous road trips that we've taken to date. So if we take that same performance that we're seeing in our long range all-wheel drive car and apply that to the standard range, here's what we're looking at. At 70 miles per hour, you should expect about 200 miles of range. Again, that's 70 miles an hour. So at 70 miles per hour, that means you're doing the speed limit in most places on the highway. However, if you go any faster than 70 miles per hour, even all the way up to 80 miles per hour, let's take a third of that range away. Now you're looking at about 150 to 160 miles of range. So what that means is you're not going to be able to go extremely long distances before having to stop to charge. When you do stop to charge, charging to 100% is very inefficient. The way that charging a Tesla works is the first half of the battery pack charges substantially faster than the back half. So going 0% to 50% can take 15 or 20 minutes. Going 50% to 100%, that can take 30 to 40 minutes. So you can kind of see how this math works out. So when going on road trips, you really want to stay on the bottom end of the pack, and that is to make traveling a lot faster. Now, if you reduce the capacity of the battery, that means you're going to have to charge closer to 100% between some of these stops. Although the supercharging network continues to grow substantially, there are a few places across this country where the distance between superchargers is pretty far. So in those cases, you're going to need a full charge and probably need to drive a little bit slower to get to your destination. This is the only situation where having less range is going to be painful. Extremely long road trips. So think of destinations 1,000 miles away or farther. Those are going to be the ones you're going to notice having that smaller battery pack. However, if you're doing a road trip once or twice a year and it's 500 miles to your destination, it's not going to be too terrible. You're probably going to have one additional stop, and it's going to be about 20 to 30 more minutes of charging for that 500 miles. So start to think about your daily commute and how far are you going to and from work. If your commute is 50 miles one way and back, it's really not going to be that big of a deal to have this much less range, because you can charge to 80%, take your commute, drive 100 miles, and not go below 20% of your battery on a daily basis. So that's going to be good for longevity of the life of your battery. Now, if you have a much farther commute and wintertime comes and you lose a lot of that range, you could be daily going below 10%. Although that's not going to kill your battery, that is going to deteriorate the battery faster over time. So if you're considering a Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus, for $4,000 more, you can get into a Tesla Model Y Standard Range. You're going to get all the premium features and you're going to have the Model Y. I think that first $1,000 is covered by the premium features, in my opinion. So that means an extra $3,000 is really not that much to have the size of the Tesla Model Y and the comfort, the ride height, all the benefits you get from going to the Model Y over the Model 3. Makes it a really good value, but it's still over $40,000 for a car. At $41,990 before the $1,200 destination charge, that's quite a bit of money. Now, Tesla is advertising a lease payment of $419 with $4,500 down. That's only 10,000 miles a year for 36 months. At that, the depreciation that you're paying for is 47%. So the lease rate's not the best. It's not the worst either. And I'm not a huge fan of leasing anyways. We have a video about why you shouldn't lease the Tesla Model Y, which you can check out here. In addition, Tesla is also advertising a 2.49% on 72-month loan at $579 with that same $4,500 down. So this isn't a small amount of money for the standard range Tesla Model Y, but it does give you the option to save quite a bit of money compared to the long range all-wheel drive model, $8,000. The Tesla Model Y is such an amazing car, and we've been on at least 4 road trips at this point, and I can't think of another car I would have rather have had to take those road trips. If you have a family or you just need the extra space, there's no better EV on the market today than the Tesla Model Y. So again, the standard range Model Y is the same car with a smaller battery pack and one less motor. So if you've been hoping to get into a Tesla Model Y and couldn't quite make the leap to nearly $50,000, perhaps this is a great alternative for you. And unlike what other people are saying, it is a good value and it is a great option for most people. As long as you're not going on substantially long road trips across the country frequently, you're not really going to lose out on the benefits of going to the long range model of the Tesla Model Y. So this standard range Model Y could be a fantastic option for you, and I'm excited to hear from you. Are you going to be purchasing the standard range? Let me know in the comments and let me know why. I hope that this video was helpful. If you enjoyed it, please give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel as we continue to post content regularly. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.